Who taught you how to do that?
No one.
Happy trails to you.
This week opens up on the long dusty trek back from Highgarden to King's Landing, and Jamie's got some gold. He pays off my man Bronn, and yet Bronn isn't happy because Bronn was promised a castle. For those of you that haven't yet seen my Fate of Bronn video, please go back and check that out, and it'll let you know exactly which castle I think he's going to get. It's obvious to Bronn that something's bothering Jamie, but Jamie just says,
I'll save my confessions for the High Septon.
Bronn instantly reminds him that there is no more High Septon, and Jamie lets him know instantly that yeah, that's his point. Jamie's not confessing anything to anybody. I think my man Bronn is just testing the waters because he knows damn good and well that Jamie's never going to let him go. He needs him too much as his right-hand man. But even so, Jamie doesn't feel like talking about it right now, so he's all too happy when Dickon and Randall Tarley show up, and he's able to send Bronn off with them to help move the farmers along and giving up their food. Jamie and Bronn really are becoming best friends, almost like brothers. I don't even know anymore who I think Bronn would be more loyal to, Jamie or Tyrion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.
But don't go looking for me to bend the knee and my lord you every time you take a shit.
My lord.
My lord.
My lord.
I am neither kind nor lord, your grace. I am merely an instrument of the institution I represent. You gotta love how cold the Iron Bank is, kinda like real-life society. All they care about is the numbers and making more money. Know that the Iron Bank has your back, your grace, as soon as the gold arrives. I do have to admit I like how Cersei took it up another level. Aegon had the table made, but this floor map is tight. I love that last little sneer Cersei gives the banker. You know she's just thinking, should I give him to the mountain or watch him burn green? Back in the north, and this is a conversation I was really looking forward to. I definitely wanted to see Bran and Littlefinger get down and what they'd have to say to each other. A lot of people are just calling Littlefinger the creepy uncle, or saying that his role has basically come to an end and he's just waiting to die. I don't think so. Littlefinger's been one of the strongest players in this game since day one. He's up there and he's playing the game right now. He wants to see what Bran knows and what all he really can see. He's playing the game as we speak, people, and yes, he did about shit himself when Bran revealed that he really does know and told him
Chaos is a ladder.
I believe Littlefinger gave Bran this dagger just to see if he could jar him or shake him. I'm telling you, Littlefinger is definitely playing the game and he's wanting to see exactly what he's up against. He just found out and he is well aware he's in trouble. Enter Mira. She walks in just in time to break the tension, and a lot of people were blown away by this scene. They just hate how emo Bran is and how unfeeling he is. But when you have that much responsibility put on your little brain at that young of an age, what do people want? Mira nailed it when she said Bran died in that age. She really did. It's really no longer Bran, and he told her so. It's a blood raven. It's a three-eyed crow. It's something more than we'll ever know, and we just can't be that mad at Bran for not feeling. He's on a whole other level, people. Now I know, again, as usual, I'm going to be clashing with most of the Game of Thrones community on this because everybody's like Bran's being such a dick. But is Bran really that big a dick? Bran didn't ask the Reeds to come. They came on their own. Jojen came knowing he would die. Summer's a wolf that went out protecting her master, and Horder was a half-wit that would have been brutalized if they left him with the Bolton men. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really do feel bad for Mira and all that she's gone through, and she's lost so much. But again, it's not Bran's fault, and Bran's gonna have to do a whole lot more. That was just kind of her doing her part to save humanity against the Night's King and the war to come. Why is Bran responsible for that? I know it was helping him out, but he's gonna have to do so much more, and everybody needs to do their part if they're gonna survive. Right? Let's bring it back to our happy place. Arya! And she's made it home, finally, to Winterfell. Yes, I had to pull one of my predictions back out of the right column, because she did end up coming to Winterfell before King's Landing. But hey, it's happy to see Arya home, and at least I should have been. Arya gets home, and it doesn't take her long at all to see that this is no longer home. It is, but not how she left it or remembers. It was nice getting the two half-wits for some comic relief, but I was just happy to see Arya finally make it back home to Winterfell. Lady Sansa, Arya's home. Do I have to call you Lady Stark now? Yes. Another Stark reunion, and this one's a little happier for Sansa. At least Arya looks like she's a little happy to see her, and she gets a real hug this time. A lot of people thought that Sansa was being serious about making her call her Lady Stark, but I think she was just joking, and she's happy to see her little sister again. But what list?
Your list of people I'm going to kill.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Bran's back.
You came home.
I thought you might go to King's Landing.
So did I.
So did I. This truly was a beautiful and heartwarming scene to see three Starks walking back through the grounds of Winterfell. Pod reminds Brienne that she's done her job and kept her vow to Lady Catelyn. She says she's done next to nothing, but I disagree. If she hadn't shown up when she did and saved Theon and Sansa, it would have all ended right then and there. I know you hate being called a lady, but I say unto you, well done, Lady Brienne. Let's head out to Dragonstone for some girl talk, and Dany wants to know what's going on. All kinds of things, but of course Jon Snow has to butt in just in time to ruin it, and I would like to show you something, my grace, before we drill it all to bits. Now, as most of you know, I love my books, but I've never been one to bash on the show, and actually there's a few things I think the show did better. The Hall of Faces definitely being one of those things, and when Jon brought Dany into this cave, I thought it was going to be this amazing scene, kind of like the Hall of Faces, but then I looked and I was like, this is just a bunch of rocks. It's a good thing Dany's Dothraki soldiers stayed back and listened to her. Jon and Dany haven't exactly been seen eye to eye, and I can tell you, Grey Worm sure as hell wouldn't have let her go in those caves alone. But anyway, when Jon said he had something else to show Dany, I was so hyped. I was like, oh my god, did he find a stash of dragon eggs? But nay, they found some pictures on the wall, and suddenly Dany and Jon became archaeologists. I have to admit, I wasn't a true believer before, but now I'm spot on. They are just smashing us in the face with it for Jon to bend the knee. Jon, bend the knee. Obviously, Jon is going to bend the knee. In a marriage proposal, these two are going to end up getting it on. And all of you that know my theory know that it's not going to be aunt and nephew getting it on. That would make it brother and sister getting it on, and we definitely don't need another Cersei Jaime situation. The way this show is constantly reminding us how Targaryens wed brother and sister together for years, I'm just afraid it's going to happen. There's no more denying it. Dany and Jon will be getting married. I mean, come on, just look at the way they had them walk out of this cave together, almost like they're walking hand in hand. Oh yeah, it's on. Well, Your Grace, we took Castle Rock. Oh, that's a good thing, isn't it? No, not so much. And Tyrion gets a tongue lashing. Dany questions Tyrion's allegiance and dedication to the plan. She's tired of the riffraff. She has 3 large dragons, and she's about to come up with her own plan. Well, here it is. My favorite scene of the episode. The 2 best lady assassin warriors in the show. Maybe the 2 best warriors in the show, period. Unbelievable, and I can't wait to see Arya get down. Sorry, you can't fight with that, my lady. Don't worry, I won't cut you. Oh, this is going to be sick, and it absolutely was. Arya goes Neo on her, and it is unbelievable how quick she is now. She has gotten to be a true master with that little blade. Now, I know they made it look like a draw on the show, but come on, we all know if Brienne would have went hound mode on her, Arya would have been game over. But it sure was fun to watch, and Arya's come a long way with her sword game. And not to mention sword games, why are we watching yet another scene about pod training? You cannot tell me that this kid is not going to kill somebody major by the end of this. Maybe even a character as big as Euron. Sansa does not look pleased with this latest development between Arya and Brienne. She looks a little jealous. Arya once again can save herself and take care of herself, and Sansa's trying to prove that she's the big Stark on campus. I think Littlefinger's look is something very different indeed. Did anyone else notice when he was looking down at her? She kind of looks like what maybe a Brandon Stark would have looked like way back when Littlefinger dueled him for Catelyn's hand in marriage. Theon runs into Jon on Dragonstone. Well, here it comes, the scene people have been waiting on all season long, the Field of Fire. And it opens up with, hey, Dickhead! Which now I see why he named his son Dickon. Anyway, he comes up and wants to flog all the stragglers, and Jaime's like, no, they fought well, chill out, old dude. Once again, trying to showcase Jaime as one of the most honorable men in the show.
So Jaime.
Rickon.
Dickon.
Laugh all you want, Bronn, but I don't think Jaime will be forgetting Rickon's name anytime soon. Dickon. Dickon brought up some really good points. He used to hunt with some of those Tarly men. He didn't like having to kill them, but Jaime had a counter right away and let him know that Lady Olenna decided to rebel against her queen, and these are the consequences. Bronn's smile fades away real quick when he starts to hear something. He tells Jaime to get the hell out of there. These fuckers are about to swamp us, but Jaime, trying to be noble again, says no, he won't leave his men. Jaime, always the brave and bold soldier, says they can hold him off. That is, until he hears and sees the truth. So it begins, the moment we've all been waiting for, getting to see Dany's dragons go up against a Westerosi army. Let Field of Fire 2.0 now commence. These soldiers had no idea what they were in for. Nobody did. Nobody's seen a dragon in hundreds of years. They had no idea and forgot the dragon fire burns even hotter than wildfire. Once again, Jaime gets to use the one-hand excuse and sends Bronn all the way across the field of fire to the Scorpion to try to take down the dragon. As Bronn makes his way through the battle, he runs into a Dothraki that actually out-Bronns Bronn and chops his horse's leg off. That was so gnarly. And then poor Bronn loses his bag of gold and has to make a snap decision. Do I stay rich or keep my life? He takes off running, and I have to admit, for half a minute, I thought he was running away just trying to, be Bronn and stay alive. But nope, he had a mission and he was staying on task. I'd have to say this battle was pretty tight, but my favorite part was when those Dothraki stood up on their horses and started firing those bows. That was so dope. Now when Bronn finally made it to the Scorpion, I gotta be honest, I don't know who I was more worried for, Bronn or Drogon. I didn't want either one of them to go. Two of my favorite characters in this story, and I want to see them both make it to the end of the season. Well, Bronn finally gets to the Scorpion, and in true Hollywood fashion, it takes him 2 shots. He misses with the first one and is dead on with the second one. He doesn't kill the dragon, but brings it to the ground. While Tyrion's looking on in horror, he absolutely hates war. He sees Jaime and tells him to flee, but of course Jaime picks up a spear and charges the dragon, trying to change Jaime the Kingslayer to Jaime the Dragonslayer. Well, of course Jaime doesn't do it, and he actually gets closer than I thought he would, but just in the nick of time, when Drogon's ready to roast him alive, somebody jumps across and saves him, knocking him into the water. Bronn to the rescue once again, but you know who didn't get rescued? Those poor horses. They are definitely barbecued. Now I know a lot of people are wondering how Jaime was running across the side of the water and then he gets tackled 2 feet over and he's drowning like 8,000 feet. Well, there are places like that in the world where it does have a really steep incline, so I'm going to give the showrunners this one. And here we get another parallel about some of the past things that have happened. Now I'm sure they're going to save Jaime somehow, but I don't know, we might be able to add him to the already dead list. It's a pretty cool parallel about what happened to his brother and how they both drowned and their arcs about how they compare to each other. And we could almost throw a picture of Bran falling right here too, the way they're both falling. But we'll just keep it with the 2 brothers and hope that Khal Drogo goes down there reanimated as a white, ready to save him as the new and improved Aquaman.
Who else is on your list?